So you applied for your citizenship based upon your military service. Congratulations! Now what? Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Team Willbob. I'm Sergeant First Class Robert Williams, a recruiting and retention NCO for the Washington Army National Guard. Do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and that bell icon so you can get my videos in the future. And if you find it helpful, hit that like button so the algorithm will give it to more people. The road from applying for your citizenship to swearing in as a citizen can take several months, but hopefully it's not actually very complicated. Once you hit the button to apply, here are the general steps. First, you will get an acknowledgement of your application. If you don't get this within 30 days, call the military-specific phone number, which I will put in the video description. Next, they may ask for additional proof of military service. Generally, this is going to be your contract, which is the DD Form 4, or your orders to training, or a memo for an officer, or some other documentation that your recruiter, your drill sergeant, or your supervisor can help you get. This is not something that happens every time, but usually. If you are already out of the military, this will be your DD 214, or the NGB 22 for the Guard, or the discharge orders for the reserves. They also require that you do biometrics. But the cool thing is, by federal law, they can use the fingerprints that you did at MEPS. However, this doesn't always work, so be prepared to do those again if necessary. Then they are going to do a background check on you. This is not something you normally see. It's generally a background function, but if there are any issues that arise, they'll contact you to sort those out. And then possibly the biggest part of this process before actually swearing in is the interview and the test, which are generally done at the same time, but not always. The interview is going to be them asking you some general questions about yourself, maybe your family, and then they will administer the test. The test has 100 possible questions, but they're only going to ask you 4 or 5 or so make sure you study really well. Then you have the decision, which is generally at the end of the interview and test, because especially for military personnel, there aren't really a lot of issues, and if there are any that have arrived, they've been mitigated already, so you should be good to go. Though potentially it could be a different day, but I've never had anyone that I've worked with have that not be right after the test is done. Once you get the affirmative decision, that's awesome, great job, you will swear in. And this is usually something where you walk from the room where you took the test into the next room, which is where you swear in. And you're just going to sit there and wait for a group to form, and then they'll have someone come in and administer the oath of citizenship. Congratulations, then you're a citizen. I've only had one person that I've worked with not have them be the same day. And generally when that happens, it's more like it's the end of the day, or there's not enough people, or there's some other administrative reason that on their side, they just can't do the actual swear-in ceremony. The last thing you're going to do is give back the green card. You got to do that. It's not actually your property. And this should be done when you get your citizenship certificate, unless you're otherwise told to do so at a different time. In theory, this is a fairly simple process that just might take a few months. Now, let's talk about some tips, tricks, and some notes. When they contact you, they will do it either by mail or through the online portal, or both. So make sure you're checking the online portal and your mail frequently. I suggest at least every week for that online portal. If you're in the Guard or Reserve and apply before basic training, you might get your interview before you leave. They might have you do it afterward, or they might have you actually continue that and do the interview and work with people at those training bases. I've seen all three happen. But if you apply while you're in basic training, they should get the whole process done right there. And then there are things not to do. Don't have your unit submit paperwork on your behalf. This process is on you. The one time I had somebody have their unit actually do the application, try and send it through, it delayed the process by several months. Don't ignore letters or online notifications. Don't go more than 30 days without checking your online portal. If you fail to respond to something within 30 days, they stop the process and you have to start over. Don't wait any length of time to respond to a letter if that's the way you're doing the application. Again, you only have 30 days. That 30 days is from when they send the letter to you, so it includes the mailing time from them to you and from you to them. Don't break any laws. This can slow or even stop the process. You must remain a good, upstanding member of the community. Don't leave the military before your contract is up. Yes, they can stop the process. Yes, they can take away your citizenship in the first 5 years that you have it if you get kicked out for certain reasons. This is an extreme and rare circumstance, but there are possibilities that can make it happen. Again, just don't be a dirtbag. And if you get injured and leave the military because of that, don't worry, you should be fine. Don't let your green card expire. This one is a really hard one to let happen because when you apply for an extension, you automatically get a 1-year extension. And that's a fairly easy process. If this happens, they can kick you out of the military because when you had your contract, there was actually a line item in there saying that you acknowledged that you had to keep it up to date. So that's entirely on you. All right, that was a brief overview of the process and some helpful info. If you have any questions, please ask. Thank you for watching Team Willbob and learning about what happens after you apply for your citizenship. Please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and that bell icon. And if you have any questions, please give me a call, text, or send me a Facebook, WhatsApp, or Instagram message. See you next time.
Angry Unicorn.